Each one of us has been empowered in a specific way to serve. There are specific and strategic ways the Lord has equipped you, put on your heart to serve Him, to build up the body, to carry on the work of Christ. So we've been gifted with salvation in the Spirit, and the spiritual gifts carry on the work of Christ. Let me give you this third thing, and this is very practical now. Here it is. Everyone has a gift. Can you say that with me? Everyone has a gift, probably more than one. Everyone does. I don't have time, but what I would love for you to do is to read over verses 14 through 26 this week. It talks about the various gifts, and Paul goes on and says the body does not consist of one person but of many, but yet we're still one. He goes on to talk about, hey, some of you are feet, and some of you are ears, and some of you are eyebrows, and some of you are eyelashes, and some of you are toenails, and he just goes into this fun metaphor of a body, right? Like all parts of the body are important, right? Every single part of the body is important. You really know this when you're like me about a year and a half, 2 years ago, when a seemingly unimportant part of my body was injured. I was walking in through the garage into the house, may or may not have been in an argument with my wife. My toenail clipped the base of the step walking up into my house and bent all the way back. It was great. It was so much fun. I didn't realize how much toenails are important. I've got a picture to show. No, I'm just kidding. I do have a picture of it. All parts of the body are important. Everyone, if you follow Jesus, you have a gift. Every single person. Here's Paul, verse 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brothers, I do not want you to be uninformed. Like, come in here close. You've got to get this. Don't give into the culture to go independent. No, like, let's all center in and recommit and reconnect to the interdependence of the church that carries on the work of Christ. Everybody has a gift if you're a follower of Jesus. Each one of us has been empowered in a specific way to serve. Now, all along these verses in chapter 12, we see like 9 or 10 different specific gifts that Paul lists, right? In fact, if you just read the New Testament, you're going to see about 6 different lists that are mentioned in the New Testament regarding spiritual gifts. Guess what? 0 of them are identical. So these lists that Paul is giving to us are not exhaustive. They're like, hey, let me just show you what some of them are. He doesn't list every single spiritual gift out there. In fact, I believe that there are so many gifts out there that we wouldn't have enough pages to write out how God empowers us to serve Him. All in all, the Bible lists about 22 different specific gifts. And yes, we may have one of those specific gifts, but we also may be equipped with gifts that aren't mentioned here. Like, I like to brag on my wife when I get a chance. One of the things that she does, and one of the gifts that she actually uses, she sits by herself much of the time in worship because I'm here or I'm busy doing other things during church. And so guess what the Lord kind of leads her to do often? Sit with people who have no one to sit with. She just kind of snuggles up next to them and tries to make them feel at home here, maybe either for the first time or maybe like last week, someone called her who's in town for treatment, and Sonia had connected with her one day, and she said, hey, are you going to church today? She said, no, I wasn't planning on going to church today. I'm just kidding, she didn't say that. But she said yes, and she said, hey, will you meet me there? I'm in town and I'd love to sit with you. That wasn't listed in the Bible. But there are specific and strategic ways the Lord has equipped you, put on your heart to serve Him, to build up the body, to carry on the work of Christ. J.D. Greear helps me out here. I love it. He says the Apostle Peter lumps all these spiritual gifts basically into two categories. I love this. He says there are two categories: those who speak for Jesus and those who serve for Jesus. So some of us love to speak, teach, preach, facilitate, whatever, right? That's a way in which you can serve and carry on the work of Christ. The other way is like, I don't want to do that. I want nothing to do with that. Let me just serve him in this way. So what I want you to do is to begin to process, do I like to speak for Jesus? Has he equipped me with that? Or do I just like to serve for Jesus? You probably fall in one of those two categories. Does that make sense? If you just do a reading of the New Testament, what you're going to find out, especially like in the book of Acts, is sometimes God gives us short-term gifts that just meet the need of the moment. If you've followed Jesus for any length of time, you know that you've probably been given that, right? It's not a forever gift. It's just this short-term thing. We see that in Acts chapter 2, don't we? There's a ton of people in this city, in Jerusalem, because it's Passover time. And God says, all these people need to hear about the works and wonders of me. And so he gives the disciples the ability to speak in languages that they've never studied before. And they were just simply speaking of the wonders and the works of God. Everybody is like, what in the world is going on? It was like this short-term gift. God may give you a short-term gift to carry on the work of Christ. Or he may give you a long-standing gift. We see that all throughout the New Testament. People just continuing to serve in the same way day in and day out, consistently and faithfully. And they're just employing their gift, and God is working through them in beautiful ways. That may be something that you've experienced or something that you're on a journey with. One thing that you can be guaranteed of is everybody having a gift, it is God arranged. We've kind of talked about that a little bit, but listen to verse 11 again. All these gifts, all these are empowered by one and the same Spirit, who apportions to each one individually as he wills. Verse 18 reiterates that all of our gifts are God selected and God arranged. Listen to verse 18. It says, but as it is, God arranged the members in the body, each one of them, as he chose. So God is the one who says, hey, you need to be this. Hey, you need to be that, right? It's not something we earn. It's something that is like supernatural, that through faith in Jesus, he gives to us. And our next step is to just step into it and begin to serve him, knowing that as we do that, we carry on the work of Christ. And there's one more thing I want to say about that. All gifts are different. There's a lot of diversity in these gifts, right? Some are more public than others. Some are more behind the scenes than others. But listen, all gifts are God valued. He goes on to say in verses 24 through 26, like, hey, some people want to be a hand, and what if I want to be a foot? And God is saying through all of these different examples here, what I want you to know is whatever gift you have, it's important. Whatever gift you have is a part of the body, and it's needed, and it's necessary. And it helps us to carry on this work of Christ, because every follower of Jesus has been empowered to serve in a specific way. That's you, and that's me. And so again, this progression, it's really important. We say yes to Jesus in salvation. He gives us forgiveness and new life and salvation, and we also get the Spirit. We know that as we serve in this spiritual gifting, we're carrying on the work of Christ. And we know now that every single one of us has a gift. Some of us still may be on the journey of finding out what that is. We'll get there in just a minute. But everyone has a gift. Let me just say this. I want to just bring this home to our congregation here at City Rise Bel Air. This is just a real good application point that I want you to hear, so come in here close. City Rise is stronger when we all serve. And City Rise is weaker when some serve. I'm gonna say that again. City Rise is stronger when we all serve. We're all in together. We're all operating as a part of the body, right? But listen, City Rise is weaker when only some of us step in to serve us. So many of us are serving well. I look out around this room, man, I'm like, man, you guys are serving so faithfully each and every week. It's amazing and humbling that you would invest so much into this place. It's beautiful. So I just want to say thank you. But there may be some in the room who this is a word for, and this is your on-ramp to begin to take a step deeper into the lifted life, into your spiritual progression. Because the truth is, and if you serve for any length of time, you know this, you grow when you serve, right? You absolutely grow when you serve. And this is Paul's heart. He needs to remind the Corinthians, he needs to remind City Rise, interdependence is greater than independence. And he says in verse 12, for just as the body is one and has many members, and all of the members of the body, though many are one body, so it is with Christ. He says the same thing basically in verse 14. For the body does not consist of one member, but of many. When we all serve together, there is a strength to the ministry. There's a ministry to one another that's beautiful. There's a ministry outside of this place that is supernatural. And so when we all serve and say yes and step in, we're a stronger church. So that's my challenge to you. You're not here by accident. Man, you're here on assignment to carry on the work of Christ through serving in your spiritual gifts.